so much for joining us on Aso Briefing and After Television today. I am Joy Annie. Let's begin with the headlines. President Tinubu approved 30% to 80% salary increase. NSCDC conducts officers into anti-fraud unit. And on business customs announces release list of finalists for 2024-2025 recruitment exercise. To watch we are live on DSTV channel 392, also on TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now let's get through all the stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the salary increase of about 250,000 armed forces personnel between 30 and 80%. These comes as the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Nanuga, in a statement said the increase is under the new arrangement, which becomes effective from September 1st, 2026. About 250,000 personnel above the rank of colonel are to benefit from the new increase, as it also applies to brigadier generals, major generals, lieutenant generals, and generals. The statement also confirmed that personnel from colonel down to rank officer will have a 50% increase, while private to staff sergeant will have an 80% increase. It added that the pay package will increase the yearly salary bill for the country's armed forces personnel from 660 billion naira. President has always praised salary and sacrifices of members of the armed forces as the response of banditry, kidnapping, and parts of the country, saying that these will continue to prioritize troops' welfare and modernize the armed forces by providing the weapons and technological tools needed to discharge their duties. Well, it says the president also believes that no nation can achieve greatness without security, so the administration remains resolute in mobilizing all military and law enforcement assets to eliminate security threats and protect the lives and property of all Nigerians. The president urged all servicemen to take the gesture as a sign of deep appreciation of the services they render to their fatherland, saying, "Together we shall prevail over the enemies who intend to destroy the fabric of our dear nation." And now the Senate Committee on Army, Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua, has commended President Bola Tinubu for approving significant salary increase of between 30% and 80% for Nigerian Army. Senator Yar'Adua described it as timely effective from September 1st, 2026, and covering about 250,000 personnel across all ranks. He said it is a clear demonstration of Mr. President's deep appreciation for the courage, patriotism, and sacrifices of those who keep the nation safe. He also congratulated the Nigerian Army on this landmark gesture, coming on the heels of the current and recent expansion of division to strengthen operational reach and effectiveness nationwide. Away now, as part of effort to combat discrimination against persons with disabilities, the Sustainable Family Health Foundation, the SFHF, in collaboration with the Christian Blind Mission, the CBM, has called on government and other stakeholders in the Federal Capital Territory to strengthen policies and law that promote disability inclusion. The call was made during SFHF's bi-monthly media awareness program on disability held in Abuja. Oluchi Jacinto Kore reports.
Stakeholders at the bi-monthly briefing emphasized the need for sustained actions in 4 key areas, such as capacity building, public sensitization, health education, and livelihood support for persons with disabilities.
Nothing about us without us. If you must achieve disability inclusion, if you must practice this us without us. If you must achieve disability inclusion, if you must practice disability inclusion, you must involve persons with disability.
participants highlighted the importance of increasing awareness of disability laws among stakeholders, improving access to economic opportunities, strengthening health education, and ensuring effective implementation and enforcement of disability rights provisions.
The project is all about advocacy for the establishment of an agency that will see the promotion, the protection, and the prioritization of the right of persons with disability in the FCT. Today is to engage one of our partners in this advocacy, which are the media, on what they need to know about disability, how they're supposed to go about it in terms of awareness campaign and advocacy, also some of the basics in terms of reporting terminologies to avoid discriminatory phrases.
Disability rights advocate Chris Obiora stressed the need to equip media professionals with the knowledge and skills required for disability-inclusive reporting, noting that the use of intentional language, objective reporting, and greater understanding of disability-related challenges would help improve the livelihoods and social inclusion of persons with disabilities, in line with the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act 2018.
You speaking for persons with disabilities, like I said before, instead of you speaking for them, why not invite the person? Let the person be the one to speak for himself, because it will give a clearer perspective of what you want to promote. Disability issues are everybody's business. We don't know who will be the next. So that's why I'm saying that everybody should join hands with us to create a more inclusive society, because a more inclusive society is for the benefit of all.
The program, themed Advancing Disability Inclusive Development through the Implementation of Disability Law, seeks to promote public awareness, strengthen advocacy efforts, and drive sustainable solutions that support the full inclusion of persons with disabilities in the FCT. Oluchi Jacinta Okore, Aso Television News.
Now, we do apologize for that break. Now, let's move on. The National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Jibola Bashir, has asked the Governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, to stop casting aspiration on President Bola Tinubu and all the leaders of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, over an election that is about 11 days away. Bashir stated this in an interview with journalists in Abuja against the backdrop of comments by Adeleke apparently blaming President Bola Tinubu and the immediate past governor of the state, Adegboyega Oyetola, over happenings in the state ahead of the August 15 governorship election in the state. The Osun governor at a campaign rally in the state alleged that extrajudicial killings were occurring in the state and urged President Tinubu not to turn a blind eye to the development. Adeleke allegedly threatened that a repeat of the 1983 political crisis would be visited on Osun State should he lose the August 15 governorship election. By the APC chief scribe dismissed Adeleke's claim, asking him to run an issue-based campaign if he truly has what to show the people of Osun to earn him a second term. Bashir said the governor's outburst was born out of fear of imminent defeat. He also alleged that in infrastructure, over 20 roads in Osun are in the dilapidated state, while in social defeat, he also alleged that in infrastructure, over 20 roads in Osun are in the dilapidated state, while in social services like education, there is about 30,000 teachers deficit. The APC National Secretary told Adeleke and his faction of the Accord Party that by merely endorsing President Tinubu's re-election is not a guarantee for the governor's second term, as he must face his political woes squarely. Now, the Minister of Defense, retired General Christopher Musa, he has called for stronger collaboration between the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the Alliance of Sahel States to combat terrorism and other cross-border crimes threatening the region. General Musa made the appeal upon his arrival in Cotonou, Benin Republic, for a three-day walking visit aimed at strengthening regional defense cooperation and enhancing security partnerships across West Africa. He stressed the need for a united approach to secure land borders and the Gulf of Guinea. In a statement by his special assistant on media, Katung Babatunde, General Musa said the minister also met with Nigerian troops in Togbin, where he reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to their welfare, operational effectiveness, and capacity building. Benin's Minister of National Defense, Gildas Agbonkan, commended Nigeria's leadership in promoting regional peace and praised the Nigerian Army performance at Benin's National Day Parade. General Musa also visited the Nigerian House in Cotonou, where Ambassador Mopelola Ibrahim said Nigeria remains committed to deepening bilateral trade and enhancing joint border surveillance cooperation with the Republic of Benin. Now, the Nigeria Police Force says it has invited the social media activist Martin Vincent, also popularly known as Very Dark Man, and Assistant Inspector General of Police Moshood Jimo for questioning over allegations made by the activist. In a statement by the Public Force Officer CSP Ani Enyede, the police said the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, the FCID Abuja, had invited AID Jimo for questioning as part of an internal investigation. The statement added that the Force CID had on July 3rd a formal invitation to the requesting him to appear before investigators to substantiate the allegations he made publicly. The police said the action reflects its commitment to accountability and due process, stressing that all credible allegations of misconduct are investigated irrespective of the rank of the officer involved or the status of the complainant. He also clarified that the criminal matter referenced by the activist had already been investigated and filed before a court of competent jurisdiction based on legal advice from the Directorate of Public Prosecution. The force maintained that the case is now before the court and cannot be determined through media campaigns or public commentary. The police urged the VDM to honor the invitation by the force CID and cooperate with investigations while reaffirming its commitment to transparency, professionalism, and the rule of law. Now, the cybercrime, fraud, and corruption continue to threaten Nigeria's economic security and undermine public trust. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has strengthened its capacity to combat financial crimes. This is as the Corps inducted a new set of officers into its anti-fraud unit, with a charge on them to uphold integrity, promote accountability, and collaborate with other security and financial agencies in tackling emergency criminal threats. Richard Ayechelu Ayebe completes this report. Well, we'll bring you that in a subsequent bulletin. We'll take a pause now, and when we return, an Aso Briefing will give you business and more stories. To stay with us. What happened? Now, the federal government says the rollout of a 90,000-kilometer fiber optic network across the country will begin within weeks to boost broadband connectivity and accelerate Nigeria's digital economy. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, disclosed this after briefing President Bola Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. He said all funding and contractual agreements for the project have been concluded, paving the way for the commencement of deployment across the country. According to the minister, the fiber optic network will span all state, geopolitical zones, local government areas and wards, significantly improving interest and internet access and the quality of digital service nationwide. He noted that the project is expected to transform Nigeria's digital landscape to strengthen the country's position in the global digital economy. The minister also commended President Tinubu for reforms that have strengthened the communication sector, including the designation of digital infrastructure as critical national infrastructure, tariff adjustment, and tax harmonization policies. He revealed that the sector's contribution of Nigeria's gross domestic product has increased from between 16 and 18% to nearly 21% since the current administration. Dr. Tijani further announced that the federal government will commence the deployment of about 3,700 telecommunication towers from October to provide network coverage to more than 20 million Nigerians living in underserved communities. He added that Nigeria will launch an alphanumeric postcode system on October 1st to provide every property with a unique address and improve e-commerce security and public service delivery. Now, the Comptroller General of the Federal Fire Service, Olumode Samuel Yemi, says the service has overcome the challenges of inadequate water and fuel supply and is now better equipped to respond effectively to emergencies across the country. Adeyemi stated this after unveiling quarter guards at the Federal Fire Service headquarters and the Wuse Area Command in Abuja. He said that upon assuming office a year ago, his administration pledged to reposition the service and restore public confidence in its capacity to protect lives and property. The Comptroller General noted that the era when emergency responders could not attend to distress calls due to shortages of water and diesel that the service has significantly improved its operational efficiency. He cited the recent historic action of an officer in Plateau State who risked his life by entering a diesel tank to rescue a victim, describing the incident as evidence of the dedication and professionalism of personnel. According to him, the newly inaugurated quarter guard represents discipline, unity, and the renewed spirit of the Federal Fire Service. He commended officers who financed the project, noting that their contribution reflects the improved working environment and welfare incentive and initiatives introduced by the current administration. The Comptroller General added the staff motivation has increased through enhanced welfare packages, medical support, and improved access to loan facilities aimed at boosting productivity and service delivery. Adeyemi reaffirmed the commitment of the Federal Fire Service to safeguarding lives and property while sustaining reforms designed to strengthen emergency response nationwide. Moving from that now, the federal government says Nigeria is open for business and ready to strengthen economic cooperation, trade, investment, and tourism ties with Saudi Arabia as part of effort to drive growth under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this at Nigeria-Saudi Diaspora Investment and Tourism Exhibition Summit 2026 in Abuja. He said the federal government is implementing key economic reforms aimed at creating a competitive and investor-friendly environment driven by innovation, private enterprise, and sustainable growth. According to creating a competitive and investor-friendly environment driven by innovation, private enterprise, and sustainable growth. According to the minister, the summit provides an opportunity for government, investors, and the private sector to establish partnership that will boost trade, attract investment, create jobs, and strengthen relations between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. Mohammed Idris noted that it will present two administration reforms in infrastructure, in agriculture, education, financing, digital technology, skills development, and security are positioning Nigeria as a preferred destination for local and foreign investments. He also highlighted the role of Nigerians in the diaspora in promoting the country's economic potential, describing them as critical partners in attracting investments and strengthening bilateral relations. The minister urged participants to convert discussions into concrete action through increased investment and also technology transfer and development, a strategic partnership that would benefit both countries. Also speaking, Chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Herrera, called for stronger economic collaboration between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia through diaspora-led investments. The summit brought together government officials, business leaders, investors, and members of the Nigerian diaspora to explore opportunities for expanding investment, tourism, and economic cooperation between both countries. Now, as part of effort to ensure transparency, Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service (CGC), Mr. Bashir Adewale, has announced the final list of successful candidates in the 2024-2025 recruitment exercise of the Nigerian Customs Service, while pledging a new recruitment cycle of a yearly basis. The CGC, who made the announcement in Abuja during a press briefing with newsmen on the exercise, disclosed that a total of 3,852 candidates have been offered places across the three cadres of entry, including Superintendent Cadre, Inspectorate Cadre, and Custom Assistant Cadre, accommodating 1,275, 367 and 2,210 candidates, respectively. Business correspondent Ilemeje has the details.
Briefing newsmen in Abuja on the recruitment exercise into the service, Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, the CGC, Mr. Bashir Adewale, disclosed federal government's plans for a new recruitment cycle for better results.
The Nigeria Customs Service is moving to an annual recruitment cycle. Recruitment will no longer be an occasional event undertaken after several years. It will be a standing, predictable yearly event. The annual cycle serves the service and the applicants equally. It allows us to plan our manpower against known retirements rather than in reaction to them. Recruitment into the Nigeria Customs Service is free. No candidate has paid, no candidate should pay any person or group for a place on the list.
While congratulating the successful candidates for the recent exercise, the CGC emphasized quality delivery.
To the 3,852 men and women whose name appear on the list, I offer my congratulations. You have earned your place in a field of more than 500,000. You are joining a service with a proud tradition and a demanding standard, and you will be held to that standard right from your first day.
The Customs Boss further commended government's effort by the President Tinubu-led administration and professionalism of the staff for operational performance.
I am satisfied that the service has remained stable throughout, that our operational performance has not faltered, and that our revenue and enforcement outcomes have been sustained over the years. That stability has been made possible by the consistent support of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and by the guidance of the Nigerian Customs Service Board under the chairmanship of the Honorable Minister of Finance, and of course the professionalism of all our officers and men.
According to him, the year 2026 recruitment exercise will open up later this year. Ile Emeje, Aso Television News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has disclosed that Nigeria's foreign reserves has exceeded its annual target, rising from $52.5 billion as of July 17, 2026, representing a 17-year high. The CBN Governor, Mr. Olayemi Kaduso, was represented by the Acting Director of Corporate Communication and Investor Relations Department of the CBN, Mrs. Hakama Sidi Ali, stated this in an opening remark at the CBN Fair held at the International Conference Center, Gombe, while noting that the increase was supported by sustained foreign exchange inflows and renewed investor participation across various asset classes. Mr. Koduso emphasized that the reforms are beginning to produce measurable gains, including improved macroeconomic stability, easing inflation, and greater confidence in the foreign exchange market. He highlighted other reforms undertaken by the Apex Bank over the past 34 months to include banking sector recapitalization, the launch of the non-resident bank verification number, the BVN, the BMAT foreign exchange trading platform, the Nigerian Payment System Vision 2028, and introduction of the Nigerian Oversight Overnight Financing Rate Benchmark, even as the Naira is continually strengthening. Earlier, the branch controller of the CBN Gombe branch, Mr. Yunus Abuba Mobi, described the CBN Fair as an annual engagement platform designed to educate the public on the bank's policies and provide an avenue for stakeholders to ask questions and offer feedbacks. The bank further attributed the country's rising foreign reserves to renewed investor confidence and sustained capital inflows, saying its ongoing economic reforms are strengthening and restoring stability to Nigeria's financial system. But that's the motto we can take on Aso Briefing. Thank you for your time. I am Joy and